Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the grand finale of the Jamaica Simulation Racing Association Sprint Series on the Le Mans Ultimate platform, coming to you from the stunning Algarve International Circuit in Portugal. Tonight, both the GT3 and LMP2 championships will be decided right here on this 4.6 kilometer roller coaster of asphalt, famous for its dramatic elevation changes, blind crest, and high-speed technical corners. This stage is perfectly set. The standings are tight, the stakes are high, and the drop race rule means that one small change in position could flip the championship tables completely. In GT3, it's a nail-biting 2-point gap between Javier Brandao and Rohan Harris. In LMP2, the Bajan and Kadim Mohammed leads the way from Omar Escorcia. Shakir Aitan and Diego These scenarios are all within striking distance. One mistake could change everything. With the sun setting over Portimao and the world watching, it's time for one final sprint. No second chances, no holding back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the JSRA Sprint Series finale. We'll take a look quickly at the results, the overall standings, my apologies, with Javier Brandao in P1 with 65, Rohan Harrison P2 with 63, and Cesar Barjano in P3. My apologies there, got the phone call, messed me up a little bit. But that being said, we'll just go over the championship standings right now. For the GT3s, we have, might as well we just start over. We have Javier Brandao from GT Panama in that BMW M4 GT3, sitting in P1 with 65 points. Rohan Harris, his first time here in the JSRA, has had 3 podiums all season, sits in P2 with 63 points. Cesar Barjano from Panama doesn't race for GT Panama, but still a good friend of ours, has been rapid all season, sits in P3 with 42 points, and special off the whole of points last week. Ramiro Dominguez, no points last week, sits in P4 with 39, only 3 points behind his countryman. Michelle Wallace sits in P5, no points last week as well, 35 points. Vincent De Silva, 27 points after a torrid race last week. A lot of drama. Emmanuel Ryan, Brunian driver who was rapid last week, started on pole position, fell back to last position due to that first turn 1 incident, first lap. Found his way right back up to the top step of the podium in P1 with the fastest lap, 26 points. Richard Dyer, his first podium of the season, P3 last week, put him up to P8 now with 23 points. Matthew Titus, 16 in P9. Kyle Barrett there, 10 points in P10. Kurt Moss in P11 with 8 points. Johnny Wilson in P12. Kimani Eastman in P13. Mornay Deploy in P14. Sebastian Rodriguez in P14, 15, and 15, 16, and 17 goes to Michael Thompson, Ricardo Soebi, and Pau Dineres. We'll take a look now at the LMP2 standings with Kadim Mohammed leading by 5 points on his rival right now. Omar Escorcia. Omar has only raced in the first race and last week's race, so they are separated by 5 points, 56 and 51 accordingly. Shakir Aitan, also known as Kirill, the head of the 7-mile racing team, sits in P3 with 48 points, 1 point over the Panamanian from GT Panama in Diego de Cineros with 47 points. Mikhail Charles not seeing in action here this evening, in 5th place with 33 points. Daniel Velez, 32, he's also not being here. Daniel Garcia in P7 with 31. Casey Chapman only made 2 rounds so far, is back, sits in P8 with 27 points. Raven Plomo with 21 in P9. Camilo Andres Mora made 2 races so far, sits in P10 with 20 points. Joel Santamaria, haven't seen him since round 2, sits in P11 with 10. And AJ Martin in P12.
Hello and welcome to the 2020.
With 18 seconds remaining, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be heading into a qualifying session. The times will go rapid. Looking forward to seeing what can come. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with the action in only a moment's time as we prepare the drivers for the qualifying session on the way. Spanning approximately about 4.65 kilometers with 15 to 16 corners. This is a WEC layout. This track is a true driver's circuit. We are using the 24-hour Le Mans, the FIA WEC layout. Practice is officially over, ladies and gentlemen. We'll prepare for the qualifying session with the GT3s first. As you have the track cams here. Beautiful scenery here in Portimao. Some very interesting facts about Portimao as well, starting first in 2021. But that being said, we will prepare the drivers now for the qualifying session. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with the action in only a moment's time.
Hello and welcome to the 2025 JSRA season.
What a race this has been. There is Dominic Charles now sitting in the slipstream of the Australian, maybe trying to see if he can force a mistake.
Oh, what a move by Moss on the outside of Jaden Harrison.
Olem Kimani as the fans are out and about. It's John just closing off the gap to the Trinidadian.
3, 2, 1, go. Fast, sharp right. Fast, sharp right. Sharp right. Sharp right. Listen. Sabine.
Ladies and gentlemen, qualifying is now on the way. We ride along board now with Jaden Harrison, who is going to be the first driver to start this afternoon's session. As he comes around the final bend to start the first flying lap of this evening. And he's going to be on a rapid front now to put his time and his Ferrari right on the top step of the podium to start this race. There's quite a few drivers on the way that we need to watch for. Sitting right behind him is Mr. Matthew Titus. We're right along board with Mr. Harrison now, as he goes around to set his first flying lap. .241 for the Jamaican so far. And that is Purple Sector 1. Closest being right behind him in Matthew Titus, 23.252. And I'm sorry, but quickly dismantled by the Panamanian and the Jamaican. So times are going down as the track is evolving. Jade now finishing up Sector 2 with a 38.988. Still not the fastest lap so far, so this is not going to be the quickest lap. It will be the first lap. But still, we have some work to do for the Jamaican. As he heads to the penultimate corner now. So be patient on the throttle here. Flat, 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 flat. To finish up this lap. And the first lap of this evening, ladies and gentlemen, will go to Jaden Harrison with a 148.676. So that's about 2 seconds off the pace that we're thinking about for the qualifying lap. Michael Thompson quickly takes that back, 147.186. Ramiro Dominguez in P2. We have quite a few persons evolving right in front. Michael Thompson P1 right now. And then quickly, as we said, 146 is supposedly the pole time. But that might go down further to a 145 because 146.255 for the Jamaican in Kurt Moss. Rohe Robinson, Mr. Sandman himself, has been practicing all week. Said he wants to get on to pole. Said he couldn't touch the 46s, but now only 900 down on that. He in his second race here in Le Mans Ultimate. Will he be making his debut? Or not his debut, sorry. Made his debut last week. Messaged me one of ways and said that was the worst debut he's ever had. Is he coming back with a vengeance? But then the driver from last week, who was the man, the myth, and the legend, who returned back onto podium, Mr. Iman Rayon in that Aston Martin, puts that car on pole with a 145.252. That, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the time to beat right now. That's the first 45 all evening, all week. As a matter of fact, no, my apologies, because we've seen 44s by Jaden Harrison, so he's going to be one that we'll be watching for. Everybody else was in the 46s. Emmanuel Rayan didn't do much practice with us. Jaden Harrison crosses the line. Has some work to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're right along board with Mr. Moss here. Michelle Wallace. He's been the fastest qualifier all season up until last week. Will we see any improvements from him? Sitting now in P16. But we'll ride along board with Mr. Massive, who's not improving but starts a new lap now. Mr. Pau Diners, a Spanish driver, sitting down now in P2, driver number 96 with a 146.013. Has some work to do. The leader of the GT Panama team, as well as the GT3 class, Mr. Javier Brandao, sits now in P4. Right behind him is his closest competitor, separated by 2 points, is Rohan Harris in that Lexus. The two are seeing each other, the two closest competitors. This is going to be a battle for the top step. Right now, Emmanuel Rayan Still looking rapid here. Purple Sector 1. Will he be the first for this evening to step into the 44s? Right now clearing P2 by a good 7/10 of a second. He said it in the interviews last week. He enjoys this track. He loves this track. How will it play out for him in the long run? Jaden Harrison has a lot of work to do. Now sitting outside of the points in P12. Did mention to me that he wanted to try and last the first challenge. Wanted to stay out of trouble. Will that be his strategy here this evening? Ooh! And a big slide there for Iman. That will mess up his time. We'll take a look at the Spaniard now, who is looking very rapid in Sector 1 so far. Let's see where Sector 2 will put him. Bird McCrandom, AJ Martin in the chat. Huge shout out to you, brother. Looking forward to seeing you in the LMP2s in a moment's time. So Pau in Sector 2, not looking rapid. About a second down. Iman has just put a time on the board right now, ladies and gentlemen. Ramiro Dominguez right there in the BMW M GT3. Now sits in P4. He sits in P4 in the overall standings, as a matter of fact, right behind Cesar. Can he throw some drama? Jaden Harrison, 146.425, sits now in P5. Rowan Harris is ahead of his closest title competitor. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a battle to watch between Rohan and Javier. Pau did make it into the 145.612, but Sector 2 is where he's losing the majority of his time. He'll need to find about 4/10 to see if he can take the top step of the podium. It's 19 seconds remaining. He's looking quick right now in Sector 1. P1 will not have enough time. Ramiro Dominguez noticing he's coming out of the pits. Nope, he went back in. So right now, the hunt is on between Rowan Harris and Pau Dineras. The LMP2 should be heading out now. Final laps now for the Jamaican and the Spaniard, as well as another Jamaican and the Panamanian in P9 and 10 in Cesar Barahona. Cesar has been on the podium 3 times out of 4. Now sits in P9, not finding the pace that he needs here. We'll take a look at Sir Michael Thompson, because he should be flying around now to finish his lap. Will he move up? No, he will not, but Pau as well comes across the line. Where will his lap put him? Still not enough, about 3/10 down on the Bruneian in front. Rowan Harris as well does not improve. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the GT3 class. The last driver now to finish up is Cesar Barahona. Comes around that final corner flat. That Lambo Huracan is screaming as it heads down the pit straight, crosses the start-finish line. What will that put him? He does improve to P8, pulls to the side. LMP2 qualifying now on the way. Omar in P1 the first, and then AJ Martin right behind. Omar the Colombian will be, or is hunting down Kadeem Mohammed for the top step of the podium. The two are separated by 5 points. How will this play out? Ladies and gentlemen, he starts his first flying lap. This is going to be a battle between the two in Omar and Kadeem. Diego de Cisneros has been rapid all season. Didn't have the best race last week. The rain played an integral role in a lot of the top competitors. But this evening, not getting anything on the radar. It should be a dry race. Where will this lead them? And right now, ladies and gentlemen, my apologies for the laps. Omar Scorsia has put on the first flying lap so far. The fastest lap so far, as a matter of fact, with a 1:37.007. Kadeem Mohammed in P2 right now, 37.290. About 5/10 up is Kadeem on this lap. These two were fighting it out last week. It was brilliant to watch. As Kadeem now coming around the final corner. And will be setting his next lap and does take provisional pole. Right now, Kadeem Mohammed with a 36.876. 2/10 up on the Colombian behind. He has two Colombians behind, as a matter of fact. Right now, Camilo Andres Mora is in front of him. On track, but not in the standings. Camilo is about 1.5 seconds down. Danny Garcia as well, right behind these two. Sits 1.8 seconds off of pole position. Casey Chapman, the Trinidadian, has had some really good races in this series. Where will this race lead him? Now sitting in P5. AJ Martin finally getting a lap on with 3.9 seconds. Diego in P6. He's won, ladies and gentlemen. Don't leave him out. He's had some very rapid laps. Very awesome races. Sits in P4, P5 if I remember correctly. We'll double check that in a moment's time. So we'll follow along with Kadeem right now as he goes to finish this lap, and we'll be crossing the line. And improves further with a 1:36.7 rapid time there for the Bajan driver. Danny Garcia as well improves 137.262. Omar Scorsa crosses the line now as well, and he does take back provisional pole. So with 3 minutes remaining, he pulls to the side. Maybe we'll do some refueling. Knows that this race isn't over. Kadeem and him now in the pits, waiting on this moment. Danny Garcia in P3, Carol Eiton in P4. 137.2, 137.5 are the two in P3 and P4. The margins are minimal. Casey Chapman there as well has some work to do, and there's Shakir Eiton, Mr. Carroll careens to the side. Camilo Mora, Andres Mora trying his best to improve. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we remind you this is the final race in this series. The points are separated by only a few mere points. This has been one of the closest seasons for the JSRA. Ooh, and Camilo there, losing the back end of that LMP2. Oracle. With 1 minute remaining, Omar is back out on pits. Kadeem hasn't left us yet. So as he conceded, Danny Garcia right now hunting, trying to see where he can improve, but not yet, at least in sector 1. Carroll in the pits as well. Casey Chapman, we've known him to be on the podium, has had some interviews with us in the past. We'll be going at it for one more lap after this. Diego Dicineros as well, another driver who we expect to be on the top step. So Diego now is improving. Green sector 1 has some work to do in that GT Panama livery. Honestly, it's just so beautiful to look at. In that Gulf livery. Typically have Mr. Vincent Da Silva racing with us. Has a few of his drivers here. Ooh, and huge out there for Diego. That I'm going to blame on the commentator's curse. Ladies and gentlemen, this does bring the qualifying session to a conclusion. We'll run it through the starting order in a moment's time. But wow, what a big outing. Luckily, it's only sim racing. Otherwise, you may have gotten a long DNF for the next race. But starting in row 1, Omar Escorcia and Kadeem Mohammed in P1 and P2. Danny Garcia in P3. Carol Eiton in P4. Casey Chapman sits in P5. Camilo Andres Mora in P6. The Colombian and Trinidad sit out row 3. Row 4 entails the Panamanian in Diego de Soneras in P7 and AJ Martin in P8. Eman Rayan for the GT3 class leads in P1, followed by Pau Dineras, the Spaniard, in P3. Kurt Moss, Ramiro Dominguez in P4, the GT Panama driver fighting for contention. P6 is Jaden Harrison and Rowan Harris. Rowan Harris sitting in front of his closest competitor in Javier Brandao for the overall standings. The next Panamanian behind him is Cesar Brandao. Cesar in right there beside. Then Michael Thompson. And Nathan Brown, Mission Wallace, and Ricardo Swaby, Matthew Titus, and Julian Narcisse. Richard Dyer as well on row 12. My apologies, got mixed up there for a second. Johnny Wilson in row 13 with Sebastian Rodriguez. And at this point, the rest of drivers will not be participating. But we are about to go racing, ladies and gentlemen, in the next few moments. As we have about 2 minutes until the kickoff of the formation lap here at the JSRA series finale. We'll get racing in only a moment's time.
Hello and welcome to the 2025 JSRA season.
What a race this has been. But there is Dominic Charles now sitting in the slipstream of the Australian, maybe trying to see if he can force a mistake.
Oh, what a move by Moss on the outside of Jaden Harrison.
Hold them Kimani as the fans are out and about. John just closing off the gap to the Trinidadian.
3, 2, 1, go. Fast, sharp right. Fast, sharp right. Sharp right. Sharp right. Listen. 7.
Formation lap has started.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're moments away from the kickoff to the final race of the season. We ride along board with Omar Escorcio. What a season this has been. I mean, from Assetto Corsa to iRacing, now Le Mans Ultimate, it's been battle after battle. Drivers prepare to go racing. The LMP2 class is set. The GT3 class is set. We ride along board with Omar right now. Right beside him is Kadim Mohammed. Right behind them is the GT3, seeing Iman Rayan there in the background.
Green flag.
And it's green light racing, ladies and gentlemen. We are underway. And right now, Kadim Mohammed already looking like he can see if he can find a moment to shine as he heads down into turn 1. And they stay copacetic. But right now, we take a quick look at the GT3s. They had a rough time last week. And Iman Rayan keeps P1. Pau Dineras as well, P2. Right behind them, Kurt Moss in P3. So it's been a brilliant start for the grid. And they have gone racing. Seeing some drama there. Matthew Titus seeing if he could have made a move. And ooh! Finds himself in an incident. Him, Johnny Wilson. And who is that? Is that Richard Dyer? No, it was Rohir Robinson. And that is drama, but as we've been watching that, Pau Dineros has made the move on the Brunian driver for P1, and the two will fight it out now between Pau and the likes of the Brunian driver in Emmanuel, and he's been rapid all week, all season, from last week at least. That battle we'll continue to watch here. Wow, what a start. So as we watch to see what happens there, the Brunian driver takes a look at the inside and does make the move, but that inside will become the outside because Pau, the Spaniard, now puts that car right there where it needs to be and will be taking back that pole position. And Kurt Master is watching in the background, and there goes the Brunian driver, goes wide, and he does try to take back his position. Ramiro Dominguez tries to get his place in this fight as well. Hopefully no contact, and there he goes trying to see if he can make a move, and yes, it looks like he will be making it into P3. The Jamaican will lose a position. That's Jaden Harrison now, who does force Kurt Moss wide, and there, little bit of contact but not too much, and now it's going to be a drag race between the two Jamaicans and the Panama driver. The Jamaican in Kurt Moss will get the slipstream falling behind Ramiro Dominguez, and that battle will continue on. Wow, what a start to this race. Jaden Harrison, no time lost, has made the move on Kurt Moss. Kurt Moss conceding that one and saying, hey, just go and do your thing. I'll follow along and see if I can put past you later down in the race. Ramiro Dominguez now chasing. He moves up a position. Jaden moves up 2. Kurt Moss loses 2. Right behind them, though, the biggest loser right now is Rowan Harris, because he drops down all the way down to P17 in the GT3 class. And his competitor for P1 in the championship overall sits in P7. So he has quite a bit of work to do, but we've seen him pull off some miracles in the past. What will we see in the next few moments? Right now, Emmanuel as well as the likes of Pau Dineros are still fighting, going at it. Tried to switch over to the inside, but closed that quickly. Takes a look on the inside, the Bruneian driver, but Pau, the Spaniard, is just putting on a world class of defense here right now. Knows where to put it to hold his place. These two will fight it out for the foreseeable future. Will we see Jaden Harrison come up? He did make the move on Ramiro. And I'm so sorry that we missed that, because that would have been a battle. Kurt Moss as well makes a move on Ramiro, as well as Michelle Wallace. So has Ramiro found himself? Yes, he has. He is off the racetrack at the moment, trying to get back on. Was that driver error, or was that a force off there? We'll look at it in the post-race shooting. But right now, Emmanuel leads, or follows behind, my apologies, Pau Dineros. Being chased by the Bruneian driver. Jaden Harrison not too far behind, tries to see if he can catch up. Kurt Moss not too far behind them as well, tries to see where he can get into the drama. But the two are now side by side again. Switcheroo by Emmanuel as they head into the final 2 corners up the track. And it's a drag race, ladies and gentlemen. Heavy on the brakes now, trying to carry as much speed, draws him wide. And there he goes, Pau, putting that car where he needs to put it. What a battle this is turning out to be in the GT3 class for the final race of the season here at Algarve in Portimao. Pau is low in the championship standings, but that's not because of his skill. Had a DNF after turn 1, lap 1 incident at Monza. Didn't see him again until last week, and then with the rain there was so much drama. But has come back here with force. The Spaniard will be putting on a show for us here, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a shout out in the chat. But as we watch that in the LMP2 class, Carol Lighton there watching me behind in the battle between Kadim and Mr. Danny Garcia. Kadim did fall back. Looked like he had a slight off track at some point, but did get back on it right in time. Now Danny Garcia, big chase by the likes of the Cayman driver in Carol Iten. Carol is sitting in P3 in the championship standings. That battle is going to continue on. We'll watch to see where it can go. Right now, the likes of Iman chasing Pau and Mr. Massive chasing Jaden. Mr. Massive looking like he even has the pace. But right now, Pau and Iman are having a drag race side by side. Not conceding it though is the Spaniard. He does have the ideal line, can push the likes of the Brilliant driver wide. You don't want to fight too much because that will bring Jaden Harrison right back into the fight, and yes it does. As Jaden now looks in the background. What can he do as he sees the fight up ahead? There's two Jamaicans behind the Spaniard and the Bruneian driver. What a battle on the way, ladies and gentlemen. Michelle Wallace has gained quite a few positions as well. Sits now in P5 right behind these guys. We'll take a look at the 1v1 battle as well. Drivers separated by thousandths of a second. Kurt Moss there does look very rapid though, as he looks down and there you see him, does take a look. Will he be able to go for the dive? Not anywhere to go unfortunately for the Jamaican, but again, no sense rushing too much as this battle continues. Rowan Harris there is right there behind Ramiro Dominguez. He's in the championship fight there, only 2 points behind his championship leader in the GT3 class in Javier Brandao. Does want to get through as quickly as possible. We look now at Camilo Andres Mora, and there are fights all throughout the field. Fans, as even Carol Iten there sitting right there in the slipstream of Danny Garcia. Carol there fighting for P3 in the championship standings. Very slight gap between himself and Diego as well, who sits in P7 in this class. We'll watch to see what can happen. We've gone about 9 minutes so far in this race session. Where will this lead us? And we take a look at the head-to-head. Balancing between the two classes. Ooh. And right behind, this battle between Kurt and Jaden Harrison is getting hotter. Kurt saying he has the pace, let me through. Jaden there trying to close the door on the Jamaican. Kurt backs out of it. Does go for the switcheroo though. And that is a place given to the Jamaican. Kurt Moss moves up a position. Jaden Harrison was playing hard to get. Ended up messing his own race up. Ooh, very late on the brakes, being very aggressive here. Does make contact slightly with Mr. Massive. Nothing to write home about though. We'll continue to watch that. Will the two Jamaicans work together? Right now we right along board with Camila Mora. He's fighting with Casey Chapman. Have a little bit of blue flags here. Ooh, that looked close. Right behind him is Diego, so he's just watching this battle unfold. come behind the Mercedes-Benz of Johnny Wilson. Johnny pulls to the side, allows them to go racing. Ooh! And that is Camilo. Who was that? That was Camilo Mora. Was sideways. That will be damage for Diego. And that's not what you want to see. You can see the effects already. Especially here on the straightaways, he will be losing top speed. What a battle this has proven to be so far, ladies and gentlemen. All throughout the field, there's been battle after battle. Cesar Barahona is chasing down his countryman 4P6 as well, who is chasing on P5. So Cesar and Javier are chasing on P5. The Jamaican sitting there comfortably. Or not so comfortably, I should say, in P5. Javier Brandao right behind Cesar Barahona. Was close, so... Ooh, Cesar has found himself way down the field. So what has happened to him? Ricardo Swaby makes up a few positions there. So Michelle Wallace has a little bit more room to breathe. So he now only has one Panama driver behind to worry about. Again, it is just an absolutely brilliant livery. Sorry to be fanboying over here, but in P6 there sits Javier Brandao, leader of the GT3 class. His closest competitor sits in P... Let's take a look. P16 right now, so no points for Rowan Harris as it stands. But that can change in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, don't give up just yet. 31 minutes remaining. But it is looking positive. He needs, if he wants a chance, Ron Harris needs to beat the Panama driver by at least 2 points. We take a look at the next Ferrari on the track, chasing down the McLaren in Ricardo Swaby. Nathan Brand wasn't supposed to be racing here this evening, had taken his wisdom teeth out, something that I need to do myself. But now is chasing the likes of that McLaren and sitting in the slipstream of the Jamaican in front of him. Cesar Barahona right behind, watching in awe. The Panama driver in that Lamborghini Huracan. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're seeing, please leave a like and a subscribe. Help us support not just us at the JSRA, but also the drivers. The more or the better we do is the more sponsorship we get. The more we get sponsorship is the more we can pay these drivers to put on these kind of shows. Well, we've been watching these two though. Kurt Moss has lost out to Jaden Harrison. The two Jamaicans at it. Was it a switcheroo? Maybe it was maybe you have more pace, I'll allow you to go. Maybe Kurt just went off track. Right now, even right in front of them, about 3 seconds up the road, is Iman and Pa. And these two have not given an inch all race. Iman just sitting. He did make a move back. Started on pole, lost out, did make a move, lost it to Pau. But Pau, he did take it back from there. That Pau did take it right back from him as well. And Pau has not given an inch all race. So we saw some strategies in the pit stops last week. Will we see it again here this evening? Only time will tell. Take a look now. Camila Andres Mora A fight between himself and Diego de Scenarios and the Casey Jackman. It's a three-way battle right now, ladies and gentlemen. 2 tenths, 6 cents between the three. And Camilo aggressive there on the rear end of that LMP Torreca. And that battle will continue as he chases. Have a little bit of traffic there in the GT3 class. Goes around smoothly though, no need to worry. They continue on this battle. But while we're watching that, Emmanuel still 1/10, just looking so close. And let's take a look on the inside now. Will he send a dive bomb as he goes on the inside? Not close enough, but still not giving it up. Not giving an inch either. The two are alongside by the racing standards. Two front axle meets rear axle. But still nothing, not good enough. But does get the run now. Ooh, and there goes Pau. The pressure has bust the pipe. And Emmanuel goes on to take pole position. Pau Dineros will now be chasing down. And will that open the floor for the brilliant driver in Emmanuel? We hope that we don't lose that battle because it's been absolutely brilliant all race evening. Ooh, and while we've been watching that, there go Camora and Casey Jackman still continue on with their battle. Diego there, going very wide and losing out. Camora, no, again goes too deep and loses out. And is that... the race leader of the LMP2s is coming around in Amar. He's been rather unbothered all race, 4 seconds clear. His closest competitor gets through the GT3 class rather quickly. I do say so myself. This has just been an absolutely epic series from start to finish. Danny Garcia there gets through. Carol Aiton as well tries to get through as quickly as possible as well. 7 tenths the gap between the two. Their battle will continue. Pau now has lost about 2 seconds to the brilliant driver. That is pain. We were enjoying that battle. Ooh, there goes Kadim. Did make contact with Jaden. Not too much, luckily. Goes around the outside. Didn't take the inside line. Kadim there lost about 1.5 seconds to the race leader in Omar Scorcio. We'll be pulling up on Pau, the Spaniard driver. Ooh, Pau there, hopping the curb. Ooh, and Pau looked like he's taking that inside line, but luckily, and there you see, Kadim had to take a very off trajectory, which ended up having him run wide. So that 4-second gap has built up to now 3 seconds between himself and Omar Scorcio. Ron Harris though, sitting in P2 in the championship standings right now. No points for him, but he is riding along board the driver who came in P3 last week in Rich Dyer. He needs a good haul of points. Was in P16, now sits in P12. We'll be chasing down the Cayman driver now. Driving for the 7 Mile Racing team. Does take a look on the inside. Rich Dido holding his ground. Will this be a switch for Mr. Harris? Takes a look on the inside. No contact. Little bit of contact. Does make the move and moves up into P11. But Rich Dido hasn't given that one up as yet. Rich Dido now holds on for that position. Good battle between these two. Came in P3 in the rain last week. Clearly not by just gimmicks, as AJ Martin watches on board to see what is up for play. Alright, now Jaden Harrison has caught up back to Pau Daenerys. These two found an outing in the early stages. We have some early pit stops here between Julian, well no, my apologies, Ricardo Sebi. But yes, Jaden Harrison and Mr. Daenerys, they found themselves into an incident in race 1 at turn 1 that took Pau out for the first round. Right now, Jaden has found himself right back there. These two fought in the last race as well, and it was quite a battle between himself, the man on pole at the moment, and the Jamaican in Jaden Harrison. Drama unfolded. Will more drama come into play as they come up to blue flags in their own class? That is a Johnny Wilson there in the Mercedes-Benz. Will be flashing. As they've seen, you see Mr. Wilson there coming off the track. But the new meme is Lizard. Get out of the way. As Pau there heads into the pits. Jaden does go, look like he had to move Pau there, backed out last minute, headed into the pits to take his pit stop now. Will he be going for the overcut? The undercut, my apologies. As he sits now in the pits, and it's going to be such a wait. Shannon Wallace at a point was being haunted by the Panama driver. Just see him there in the background behind the likes of Diego, I believe I just saw. Yep, there you see him. In Javier Brandao has some work to do. Pau now still in the pits. As you see him gearing up to leave. Iman Rayan coming through the final sector now. Pau Daenerys still hasn't left the pits. This is a excruciatingly long pit stop. We've seen it in the first few rounds where pit stops has made and broken races. You're seeing damage to the front left of that Ferrari 296. Pau finally leaving. Right behind him is Julian Narcisse. And Jaden, Iman, and Kurt Moss are the next up in the pit stop. So we'll watch to see where this will bring them. Shannon Wallace, will he continue on and go for the overcut? No, he will not. Heads into the pits. AJ Martin there goes on Javier Brandao as well. So right now the driver that we'll be watching is Pau Daenerys. And we'll see who of the top 5 will be leaving the pits first. And it's Emmanuel already leaving. So a much shorter pit stop than the likes of Pau Daenerys. And as well, right there coming out in front. Nope, my apologies, that was a mistake. I thought Javier was coming out, he just came in. But Emmanuel will be coming out by quite a margin here. Pau de Neres hasn't made his way anywhere near. Michelle Wallace as well. Has left. Kurt Moss is the next one to go. Jaden Harrison coming out now, and right in front of him will be Javier. That's not Javier. That's Michelle Wallace. So the undercut has worked for him. Jaden Harrison, did he fix the damage? Is that what took so long? No, it looks like I still see some form of damage there. Javier Brandao comes out now. Where's Pau de Neres? Pau is heading right back into the pits. So his race has unraveled. What has happened there? Right now, the one that we need to watch coming out of the pits is Ron Harris, who now, ladies and gentlemen, sits in P9. Still has 3 cars with 2 cars in between himself and Javier Brandao, though about 13 seconds ahead up the road, but anything can happen. We watch now. Michelle Wallace is being hounded by Jaden Harrison. Jaden chasing down back for that final podium step. Place your bets now. The first stints are done. We have about 17 minutes remaining. Jaden will be chasing. Takes a look on the inside. There quickly tries to make quick work of the Jamaican. The two go side by side now. That looks like a move done by the Jamaican. Jaden trying to break the slipstream now. Michelle not giving it up just yet though. Jaden gets the inside line. Does he go back? Michelle trying to make up his mind. Jaden there closes out, goes back onto the racing line. That looks like a move done by the Jamaican. Javier Brandao now behind Ricardo Swaby, looking to see where he can make up a position. I believe that is Nathan Brown there in front of them. Yes, it is. The only other Ferrari on the racetrack at the moment. But this is going to be the battle that we will watch for the foreseeable future. Quite a tense gap between Javier and Ricardo. Fight for P5 is on. And quickly squeezes by in Javier. Saw the space for him, the Jamaican. Squeezed himself through. He's now made his way up into P5. Car in front is not up for battle. That is a blue flag in Nathan Brown, sitting down in about P16, P17, P16, yes. So we continue to watch this battle unfold. Jaden Harrison now 7.5 seconds behind Kurt Moss. That is disappointing because that battle was brilliant. And there's more there taking a look on the inside. This countryman in Danny Garcia. It's been an absolutely epic battle all season. And in the season finale, it does not end here. Because now Camilo sitting right there in the slipstream, just waiting on his moment to pounce. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the series finale, but this is not the season finale. We will have more racing on the way. Ooh, a little bit of contact between the two. Not too much. It'll look like a little bit of neck code. But yes, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Keep updated with all things JSRA. We race all year long. Huge shout out to our partners and our sponsors. The Sim Racers Room, which we are doing the races for, the broadcast for them, for their iRacing Championship. There you see Camilo there, takes a look now, go to the outside. The two go side by side. The outside will become the inside. Will he get enough speed going in? No, he won't. But quickly switches back. And that is a move done by the Colombian. Camilo. Absolutely epic by him to make a move up. We take a look at the GT3s now because Paul is right there. Fighting alongside Cesar Barahona. Elbows are out. No contact. Now chases Matthew Titus in front of him. 1.4 the gap between the two. Our next sponsors is 7 Mile Racing. Have a few other drivers in Rich Dial and Mr. Carol Aiton on track. Huge shout out to 7 Mile Racing. Good friends of ours over at the Cayman Islands. Brothers, to say the least. We also have races from the Noble Racing store and the Noble Racing team. Ooh, and there you see Pau quickly trying to make a move there on the Jamaican in Matthew Titus. As they head down the pit straight into turn 1. Matthew not giving that one up as yet though. But still nowhere to go. Matthew there sitting now. And will consider the move to the Spaniard. But huge shout out again to Noble Racing team and the Noble Racing store. Your go-to sim racing club and store in the vicinity of Colombia. And our good friends, our good brothers over there. My good friend Daniel Velez not showing out here this evening, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for him, has some real life duties to do. Unfortunate for us because he would have been putting on quite a show. But we will see him in the next seasons to come. And that's for sure. Again, another shout out to GT Panama. Missing Mr. Vincent Da Silva, who hasn't missed a race all season. But unfortunately couldn't make it this evening. But his team is here out. Only one DNF from them in Ramiro Dominguez after whatever had happened in that first stage of the race. We saw him there in the grass. We'll take a look in the post-race shooting. But we will have a highlight reel brought to you by the 7 Mile Racing team and the JSRA. We will have off-season races as well. So if you want to join us, please feel free to follow us on Instagram at JSRA Official. Send us a DM. We'd love to have you on board. Join our Discord. Every link is in the description. We love to have more racers. Our aim is to have clean and competitive racing all throughout the year. And this grid, it just keeps getting better. You should see the races on iRacing, as we will be having a free championship there as well. Courtesy of the Jamaica Motoring Millennial Club, the JMMC, our local Jamaican ASN, who has given us some iRacing 1-year codes to give out to the winners, or the top 5 from each class. That will lead to some really good and awesome racing in the next few weeks, as we look forward to that. Pau Daenerys, though, is on a charge because he now catches up right there behind Julian Narcisse. The fight for P8 is on, and Pau sitting there just cutting them up one by one. Cancero and Harris there in the forefront, but has to get through the Cayman driver now first, and does. Moves up into P8. We have about 6 minutes remaining, and this looks like a very anticlimactic race so far, or finish, because Emmanuel Ryan is now 17 seconds away from Kurt Moss. That 7-second gap between Jaden and Kurt, though, has dwindled to about 3 seconds of a gap. So we'll continue to watch that gap as it continues to go down. Casey Jackman as well has found himself chasing down the likes of the leader of 7 Mile Racing in Carol Eiton there in P3. 8/10 the gap between the two, so we'll watch to see what happens here. We'll also watch the gaps in the GT3 class to see who is coming up on who and where these battles will take us in the next few moments. We are in the final 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Cast your votes. We look forward to the dying stages of this series. And with 2 minutes remaining, Ron Harris sits in the background of Ricardo Swaby. Bowdenera is not too far behind. Can taste blood, needs or wants as many positions as possible. He's hunting the likes of Ron in front. Ricardo putting on his defense in that McLaren. Will he get one more place? And it looks like the move will be stuck. Bowdenera's though now 7/10 off of these two. So he, in the last minute of racing, will have his chance to at least get one or two more positions. Ron Harris will be running away for the foreseeable future. Oof. Oh, they're making a little bit of contact there with the McLaren. Maybe trying to push him through. Seeing him flash there. But this is for position. This is not blue flags. Looked like he wanted to take a little bit of a dive there. Backs out early. Tries to prioritize the exit rather than the entry. As a look on the inside, will force Ricardo to start looking at his mirrors. Will he try and get a run now? 6 seconds to go, ladies and gentlemen. Where's Amar on the track? And we do have white flags, and he is, after a very dominant race, coming through the final 3 corners. Gets blue flags there. Flash, flash, flash. 22 seconds. The gap between himself and P2. It's been a dominant series for him as he comes across the finish, the finish of this race. It's not a photo finish, but there goes Amar Escorcio. The finish of this series in P1. What a brilliant race it's been for him. It's been an absolute spectacle. We will calculate because the points between them, it should go in favor of Amar. Teddy Mohammed now. Depends on who gets the fastest lap. He does get that extra fastest lap point. 137.068 was his fastest lap. He comes out in P2. Casey Jackman in P3. Let's see where Iman is. Iman has crossed the line. Kurt Master next one up in the GT3 class. Jaden Harrison has crossed as well. Michelle Wallace sits in P4. Javier Brandao in P5. And what a conclusion to this race it has been. Pau still there trying to see if he can get the likes of Ron Harris. But Ron needs every point he can possibly get. They come out to the final corner and it's going to be as it is. Rowan Harris comes around to finish off in P6. Bowdenera's in P7. And Ricardo Swaby right there in the background in that McLaren sits in P8. What a battle this has been. Julian Narcisse being chased by Cesar Barahona. Cesar trying to pass him at the line but will not be able to. P9 and P10, the final 2 points of this evening. Matty Tatus in P11. Sebastian Rodriguez. Rich Dow in P12, P13. What an evening of racing. Diego still hasn't finished up as yet, but does cross now in P5. Camila Mora in P6. Kyril Aiton in P7. What happened to Kyril? He was in the fight for the podium at that point, but that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the race is now concluded and the series is finally over. We'll have interviews in a moment's time. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand back for the moment. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll have the interviews in only a moment's time. We will start with the GT3 class, as well as try and do some calculations, because that battle between Omar and Kadeem has been absolutely epic. So as it stands, Kadeem, who came in with 56 points, will be leaving with 75. With the fastest lap, and guess what? It looks like Omar Scorsia has passed him by 1 point based on my calculations. We'll do a double check in a moment's time. But right now, it looks like Omar would have won by 1 point for the LMP2 class. We'll do our calculations and check it in the next few moments. But as we just wait for the replay to load up, we will get the interviews on in a moment's time. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the chat. What an absolutely epic evening of racing this has been, though, here at the JSRA. It's been fun to watch. I'm actually very tired. But so filled with joy at the battles that we got to see and watch here this evening and over this season. But right now, it's looking again, ladies and gentlemen, like Omar will be getting the top step of the podium. Again, the top 3 will be awarded, as well as the top 5 from each class. We'll do all calculations in a moment's time, just getting everything ready. And the drivers are in the cool down room enjoying themselves at the moment. So once we get the replays up, we will get going on the interview session. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the end of the JSRA. We say this every week. We do have quite a few series on the way. That we are looking forward to. With the endurance series coming up in a moment's time. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have the replay loaded up and ready to go. So we will start the interviews now, starting with our brother from the Jamaica Simulation Racing, one of our head designers, developers, admins and organizers, Mr. Jaden Harrison, who started this race in P5. Jaden Harrison now joining us in the commentator's booth in that Ferrari. He's missed 2 races out of the series. It was an absolutely brilliant battle between himself and Mr. Massive in front of him, especially at the start of the race. Made up 2 positions to fight for P3. Jaden, driver number 604. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Mr. Harrison, well, firstly, let me say congratulations to you, sir, finishing off on the final step of the podium. Just your thoughts on the race before we get going.
It was pretty forward. Not that too much. Almost like driving myself or like this.
Well, before the pit stops, you and Kurt Moss definitely had a battle. There's one moment where we were questioning, was it a case where you had more pace and allowed the driver, well, Kurt Moss allowed you to get through, or was it just a move that you just made that just said, hey, let me just take this position, and then a switcheroo later down? I'd love to hear what had happened there between you two.
I think he almost right off, like he saved the car and he like, cause he did that, like he was slow, so I just fly past him. And then I think one time we passed, and then it was like a like switchback kind of overtake, I guess. And he got past me. I think that's how he got past me. We were too wide, and then he switched back.
Well, it was an awesome battle between the two. Up until they headed into the pits, there was a fight even with Pau, where he ended up catching up in the latter stages of the race and ended up passing him. What were your thoughts on that battle as well?
I don't think I passed Pau.
You
I
did?
didn't see him in the race.
You did.
When?
It was after the pit stops.
Where?
Oh, as a matter of fact, no, sorry. You were going for the move, and then he immediately
Shen.
went into the no. You're actually going around him, and at the last minute he dove into the pits.
Oh yes, yeah, he did
Right,
that.
and then
And
you
I
didn't
guess
see
he
him
lost
again.
time in the pit. I don't know what he did.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, we saw him in the
gone.
pits twice, so we'll definitely hear from him. But as we conclude this sprint series, any thoughts on the series so far? I know you'll be missing in action for the iRacing Championship tomorrow for round 5. But any thoughts on the championship and what the future holds for Le Mans Ultimate and the endurance series to come?
It's like very complex. I took tires, but yet still, I was on similar pace with drivers that didn't take tires. So like it's very confusing LMU, and like the 2x fuel. It's like I take full fuel and I get fly passing pins, and I'm like, oh shoot, was I not to take full fuel? But then I almost finish like empty tank at the end of the race, so it's like so confusing. All Fuji, I think I paid 3 times for fuel because I'm like, fuel don't make sense with 10 minutes left. But then it makes sense. So then I put in like half tank, and I had to put in the next half tank, but then the next half tank of fill. I think the temperature's like there's something, but yeah, it's very complex. So I think that like splits up a lot of the racing, as like we see like when me and Kurt got separated in the pits. So yeah, other than that, it's good. Maybe just to clean up the racing.
Absolutely, because we just saw on the replay a little bit of an incident between yourself and Ramiro. But that just looked like Robin was racing. Any thoughts on that battle?
Oh, so yeah, that I think he went wide, like he missed the braking in a corner, and then like I went down the inside, and we were too wide, but like he just fully pushed me off the track. So I'm like, okay, you're going to race like this, I'll just do the exact same thing. And I just didn't give him any room either. Same thing he did to me. So
Well,
fair racing.
it was, I mean, to me that looked like racing. But hey, nonetheless, it was an absolutely epic battle. Even if it was before the pit stops. We do look forward to seeing what can come in the next few rounds. Well, next championship. Hopefully Le Mans will come up with more updates. But as it stands right now, it is absolutely epic to watch. There are some good battles all throughout the field. So again, huge congratulations. Sorry, missed you for 2 rounds. Maybe you would have been fighting for the top 3 there, but still to finish off in style here, finishing off on the final podium position behind your countryman and the brilliant in Iman Rayan. Huge shout out to you, sir. Congrats.
Yeah, I definitely don't think for the championship it's just more for fun, but it's good to see like the new drivers. I think who won the championship, Brando
And Rohan.
over Rohan.
Right.
So that's good to see.
Right. Well, hopefully we'll see more of them
It
in the
sucks that the
next.
Jamaicans didn't win.
Well, that says a lot. That
But
means we need to catch up the field. So, hopefully for the endurance series, we'll see more Jamaicans on the podium. But nonetheless, huge congratulations to you, sir. We'll speak soon.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was driver number 604. Came in P3, but right now we have in second place Mr. Massive. Had a brilliant battle with the P3 driver. Ended up taking back that position after losing it out. Was with him for the majority of the race, but ended up leaving the pit 7 seconds clear of the Jamaican behind him. Finished by quite a margin behind the Bruneian driver, but that being said, Mr. Kurt Moss, driver number 823. Mr. Massive, can you hear us?
What's good? What's good? I have one word for tonight, man. Finally. Finally, I put a race together. No spins, no mishaps with my pits. And yeah, just a good, clean race, man. So I'm happy with the result.
So that was going to be my next comment because, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Massive himself, who is so used to the interviewing room for this whole series, it's been bad luck after bad luck. And I mean, it's just so, I mean, you can hear it in his voice. It's just so refreshing to have him back. And I am excited to have him back here in the interviewing room. But again, brother, congratulations, P2. It was a brilliant battle between yourself and Jaden. There's a moment where we were wondering, was it a case where Jaden had more pace and you let him through? And then it was clear that you just had the pace and you know, he let you through, but that clearly wasn't the case. Could you just give us your thoughts on that battle between the two?
Well, to be honest, I will make it clear that I afraid of that man when him close to me. So if it's a 50-50, I am going to let him go and hope that I can pass it back. If Jaden does not back out, so I kind of messed up on I think that was what, turn one, and I was like, I'm not gonna fight him for it, so I let him go and just kept pace, and he took tires on his pit, and so that's how I got that gap on him.
Absolutely, and I want to ask you. Well, that was my next question, though. The pit stops, did you go for tires? Clearly, you didn't. But we did see the gap closing down in the latter stages. It was 7 seconds when he came out. It was 2 seconds by the end of the race. Was there at any point did you feel any uncertainty seeing that gap closing?
Well, taking a look at the time that was left, the only way I think he would have caught me is if I made a big mistake. I was kind of almost sure. It was a bit closer than I was hoping for at the end, but yeah, the time ran out just soon enough for me.
Man, Kurt, it's so refreshing to hear your voice again in the cool down room, man. But yeah, as we close out the series, we do have the iRacing series tomorrow, and we have the Le Mans Ultimate Endurance series coming up in the next few weeks. Do you have any thoughts as we head into the next round of iRacing? And you know, just I know it's been a rough take for this Le Mans Ultimate series, but any thoughts on it so far or overall, and you know, any expectations going into the Endurance series?
Well, I must say I'm pleasantly surprised with the numbers that we have been getting. That's always a good thing, man. And as you know, once it's JSRA and I'm available, I'll be racing. So it's looking good, and we have some good guys here racing, so that's a plus.
Absolutely. And then the final comment now, we have one new Jamaican who will be finishing, I believe, in P2 overall in the championship standings. We'll double check that over the week. In Rowan Harris, any words of wisdom and encouragement for him?
Well, his work speaks for itself. You know, he couldn't get second if he wasn't putting in the work. So there's nothing much for me to say. He's been doing good.
All right, man. Well, again, a huge shout out to you. Happy that we can finally hear your voice in the Le Mans Ultimate Series. You got points last week, and this week even more points and a podium. So huge shout out to you, Mr. Massive, and a huge congratulations, brother. And I'll see you in the next few rounds as we head into the next series here at the JSRA.
Yeah, man, big up on yourself always, man, and thanks to JSRA for always putting on these races. Thanks.
Man, thank you for joining, because especially without you, who shows up without failure, I mean, we know if you don't show up, it's because you just genuinely can't. But man, it's always a pleasure to have you, brother, and huge congratulations on securing P2 finally here at the JSRA in round 5 at the Algarve circuit. Mr. Massive himself, driver number 823.
Bless up, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you too. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Kurt Moss. But right now, driver number 69, Mr. Emmanuel, the Bruneian driver who has shaken the grid by storm last week in that stormy weather Fuji race, came out by in dominance here, was 2/10 quicker to start on Paulineres, but did end up losing out that pole position until about lap 6 or 7, where man just not forced his way through, but just saw an opportunity. Paul went very wide on the final corner. A man took it, and that was the end of the show. He was there just breathing down the back end of that BMW GT3. That one mistake, and a man just took it and ran and won by a whopping 17 seconds, if I remember correctly. Emmanuel, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Man, again, huge congratulations, man. Again, I am so happy when I get the message from you that you're coming in. It's always a show. Well, we just want to say, we know we missed you for the first 3 rounds. You won last week after starting in first, falling back to last place because of the incident at turn 1, and then fighting your way back through to finishing first. This race was a little bit of a, well, I'd say a much easier race, but still, your thoughts on Pau making that move in turn 1? Did that deter you at any point during the race? Did you feel discouraged, or did you just feel like you had enough time, you could make the move later down in the race?
I was just was just trying to drive clean. That's it. I think if I defended too hard, I would just make a lot of mistakes. I just let Linares through and lap 1 because I was just trying to drive clean the whole race, and then we were battling for a few laps. He was defending pretty good, but yeah, he was making a lot of mistakes, and the pressure got to him in, like, I think the 7th lap of the race. He went wide, and the end of sector 2. Yeah.
And then you saw that moment, and then ever since then it was just basically I don't want to say it was a Sunday night stroll, but what were your thoughts after that? Were you a little disappointed, at least because you lost that battle, or was it just a case where you just said, all right, let's just finish up this race and just put on what we would consider a Max Verstappen-esque of a finish here at the finale of the JSRA?
Well, I would say it's both. I was pretty disappointed that we didn't get to battle like almost the whole race. But yeah, but after he made that mistake, I just wanted to get away from Linares. And yeah, in the end, I got, I think, 17 seconds, right?
Right.
17 seconds. Yeah, ahead of P2. Yeah.
And it was an absolutely epic race. I know I missed you for round 1, 2, and 3. But can we just get a little bit of your thoughts on the series that you did end up? You came in last week, you dominated. You came in this week, you dominated. What were your thoughts in the race? And even as we head into the endurance series coming up in about a month, what are your thoughts as we head into that?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if I can come for the endurance series. Maybe a few races. The sprint series was really fun. The format is, I think, it's pretty good. 10-minute quali for each class and 45-minute race. I think, yeah, that's a pretty good format with with at least one pit stop every race. It's pretty how do you say it? It's pretty challenge. It makes it harder for
Yeah.
the drivers and challenging.
Yeah.
So, and I would love to race more in the future, but we'll see if I can race. If we'll see if I can race more in the endurance series. But yeah, that's it.
Well, we would love to have you on board. So we will have votes, and as well as a schedule released in the Discord. So we look forward to your input, because we need to have you on board, man. It's always epic from the Assetto Corsa days now to the Le Mans Ultimate days. You always end up putting on some battles that we just enjoy watching. So again, huge congratulations to you winning this race and last week. But yeah, any final thoughts as we close out the series?
Well, in conclusion, I'd like to say I thank you for this for the fun and enjoyment in this series. It's so thrilling, these races, and I hope I hope JSRA gets to achieve success in the future, and more success with sponsors and money in order to host these races. So that's it.
Well,
Thank you.
Well, again, as we say, every race, man, without you guys, we wouldn't have a race. We wouldn't have anything to bring to the sponsors. So at the end of the day, we'll put these races on with or without sponsorship, but we just want to make sure that you guys can get paid and enjoy the fruits of your labors, because trust me, without you guys, we wouldn't have a product. And these battles are just so amazing to watch. We need to get them out more and to more persons to see the talent that we have. So again, huge
Yeah.
congratulations to you, man, and thank you for joining. It's been an absolutely epic series. Glad to have you, even as you come into the final end of it. But we look forward to seeing you more and more at the JSRA as we continue moving forward.
Yeah, thanks.
And thank you
Yeah,
too.
and also the drivers on track also made it fun. Honestly, the drivers here are pretty good. Honestly, at worst like just slower, 3 seconds slower. So yeah, they're also what makes JSRA fun. So thank you.
Absolutely, man,
for-
and thank you.
Yeah, all these fun and entertainment.
Again, like it's you guys that make the battles. So, but I am happy that you enjoy it. And I am looking forward to more and more battles, especially with you guys, because Jaden now has a new person to chase down, as well as Mr. Pau over in Spain. I'm sure he has been excited to get a battle between yourself and himself. So trust me, I am looking forward to the battles in the future. So again, huge congratulations, brother, and I hope we'll see you again sooner than later.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, man, and that was driver number 69. The brilliant driver won this week and last week's race for the GT3 class, showing immense pace. Right now, we missed him last week. Mr. Casey Jackman did finish off this race this evening in P3 after an absolutely epic showing. Had some battles there, especially to chase down the likes of Mr. Carol Eiton there, as well as having some battles with Cam Mora. But Casey, can you hear us?
Yeah, hi. Good night.
Casey, again, you came in P3. This is second. Is it the second time I'm having you in the interview room? I believe it is. Maybe the third.
Yeah, I believe I had podium but
Yes. Well, huge congratulations to you, man. It was a very interesting race from qualifying upwards. You had some battles there with the Colombian and the Cayman driver. First question is, what were your thoughts on the race overall, especially here at Algarve in the LMP2 class? What were the challenges that that posed? you know, you in that car as well?
Port is always a fun track. It's a bit challenging. So a lot of high-speed corners, so the tire drag is a bit high. I didn't have much time to kind of get a setup dialed in, so I wasn't too comfortable with the car. But I was comfortable enough that I could put in a decent enough time. But the track is just one where you really need to be careful. uh, the LMP2 cars, you always need to be careful when you break in, and there's a lot of downhill, a lot of blind corners, so it's easy to lock up and kind of ruin your tires if you're not careful.
And I remember at one point you were chasing down, especially at the latter stages of the race, you were chasing down Carroll. You ended up passing him. What were your thoughts on that battle? It looked clean. We did miss the overtake, so we didn't know exactly what had happened. Could you fill us in?
I think he was they were having a bit of they were trying to do some fuel saving. Uh, my strategy would have been to try to do some fuel saving at the start because the fuel was looking a bit close to it would have been a bit close if he was trying to do a one stop. So I kind of managed my pace in the first stint. Try to lift a bit, didn't try to battle too much. Tried to save my tires as well, even though I had some lockups, which it looked like it paid off overall. Because the second stint, I was able to really kind of push and close the gap, even with the traffic, the GT3 traffic as well, posed some challenges. But it was kind of fun.
Nice. And then final thoughts on the race overall and the series overall. We know we missed you last week, unfortunately, but glad we got you back. What were your thoughts in the series, and even as we look into the endurance coming up, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's a really fun series. I hope the enduro is fun as well. If I can actually make it, I would. I love doing endurance racing, so once I am able to make it, I should be there. But overall, the racing is really fun. Both as we're trying to be as clean as possible. For me, the two times tires and fuel kind of made it a bit difficult strategy-wise, and that's always fun. Um, a lot of people had tried to take tires, so you always have that mix of who's trying to just go all out versus who's trying to manage a bit, and it's a fun to see where you end up at the end of the race. So it's a really fun series, and I look forward to being back whenever I can.
And I mean, again, as I said before, we don't have a series without you guys, especially you, Casey. You lent to some really good racing and some really good battles. We enjoyed the one with you and Caril, as well as one with Camilo. I don't remember if it was you, but going up the blind crest, I remember seeing Andres Moro across the field. Not sure if that was you. I don't remember if that was you or Diego. But do you remember that by chance, or was that somebody else?
Do you remember? I think it was Garcia coming out of one of the uphill turns. I just saw the yellow flag,
Yeah.
but it's a pretty blind right. hander. So I wasn't able to actually spot where he was until I was at the apex. And I mean, I believe he did his best to kind of get more to the
Right.
inside of the track and give a bit of room. So I was able to just open the wheel up and pass safely.
Okay. So my last question to that now is, how did it feel in the moment? I know you kept your composure because you got through cleanly, but how did it feel? Was it a brown pants moment?
I mean, it's always it's always a bit of a brown pants moment when you have a car facing you uh, on the next side of a corner, and yeah, I mean it's always to just try to pick the best move possible, whether it's slowing down or trying to just open up and go off track. So I mean, careful is always better. It's better to lose a second or two versus colliding with somebody and being out of the race.
Absolutely. Casey, it's been a pleasure to have you, man, and it's been, I mean, to have you 2 times in the interview room. I'm looking forward to many more with you. We're hoping that the next series will lend to some really good racing as well, and that you'll enjoy it as we continue on this platform. But huge congratulations to you, brother, and look forward to seeing you in the championship standings to see where you fall. Because at this point, you should be in the top 5, but only time will tell.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely, thank you for joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Casey Japman, finished off P3 after a brilliant race. Now we have Kadeem Mohammed joined in the round 3 of the series and has just been putting show after show. Was in the battle for the top step of the podium. Unfortunately, looking right now, I could be wrong, but doing the calculations, Kadeem may have lost out by 1 singular point for the top step of the podium, but we'll confirm that over the week. But Kadeem, how are you, man?
I get on. I can't complain.
Kadeem, well, before we even get into the championship standings, again, brother, congratulations. It's been a series to watch. I've been enjoying it from start to finish, especially since you came. You've had battle after battle. You've had battles with Diego, with Mikhail Charles, and now with Omar Escorcio to fight it out for the last round. Your thoughts on the championship, man?
Well, it was pretty smooth for the most part, but I mean, I just come second all the time. So it still looked good in points to some extent. So I'm not disappointed, honestly.
Well, all right. So you started off in P2. You were chasing down Omar, and we noticed you fell back a little bit to where even Daniel Garcia had passed you. Could you feel the audience in what had happened there?
Oh yeah. I going up the uphill, I lock up. So when I did come off the brakes now, the car just was doing this like flat spin, like, so I didn't realize it till it was too late, and then I had to overcorrect. Then it snapped the next side, and yeah, that caused me to run off. And I lost a good 5 seconds to Omar. Then I got passed by the guy that was in third place. Got past him. He put about a second on me, and then it took me about a lap and a half to catch back myself. And then I got him back from there, and then I tried to chase Omar. But yeah, he was definitely the
Yeah, he had a huge pace advantage. Well, not pace advantage, because you actually took the fastest lap of the race, if you didn't notice, by about 2 or 3 tenths of a second. Especially in that qualifying, it was close up until the end.
Oh,
yeah. So you actually finished this race with the fastest lap. I think you did I don't remember, but I remember seeing it that you did take the fastest lap of the race. So clearly not a pace advantage. It was just that one little mistake that ended up messing up your race, which again, it now leads to my next question. You were leading by 5 points heading into this championship. By the looks of it, you did get the fastest lap and the extra lap point. You've gotten fastest lap for the 3 rounds that you've been in, but still it looks like you may have lost out by 1 single point. If that is how it goes, how are your thoughts on the championship overall, and even looking forward to the next race or next championship as we head to continue using the Le Mans Ultimate platform?
well, I still happy. As I said, I'm not disappointed. This is still high above where I thought I would have actually finished, to be honest. So anything, any podium is good.
Absolutely. Well, man, I mean, nonetheless, I was missing that fight, especially between you and Mikhail Charles for this round. We're hoping he would have made it, but unfortunately he couldn't. And then that battle between you, yourself, and Amar would have just been brilliant, if I do say so myself. But nonetheless, I am looking forward. Hopefully, rivalries are being made and built. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you the next few rounds. Or next few championships, especially as we head
Yes,
into the
will do,
racing
for sure.
championship.
Oh, yeah, I actually started racing actually.
You started?
So I got about C class now.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my
So I got
word.
about C class and I'm liking it.
Well, I hope you didn't buy anything because you did get, or you should be winning a 1-year iRacing subscription. So yeah, I hope you enjoy that as well. But yeah, Kadeem, it's been an absolutely epic series with you. Glad to have you on board and looking forward to many more races with you, brother.
Yeah, thanks, no problem.
All right, man, and we'll talk soon. 'Cause I'd love to hear more about your career now on 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 the iRacing platform.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Kadeem Mohammed finishing off this race in P2, driver number 246. But right now, we have the winner from last week. Bam! Again, I don't even know if we should consider it a Max Verstappen-esque of a victory, the way how he dominated. Maybe a 2023 2024 showing, or 2023 showing of that Red Bull is in Omar Scorcio, but Omar had dominated from start to finish from the qualifying session. Looked like he might have been under threat by Kadeem Mohammed through qualifying, but then just put on a lap that just stamped his dominance here. Omar, can you hear us?
Yes, copy.
Omar, I don't know if you got the news as yet, but by the look of it, you beat Kadeem Mohammed in the overall championship standings by 1 single point. If that is how it goes, which I do believe that is how it went, and if I am on it, he also got fastest lap. So to beat him by 1 point, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I didn't expect to win because I missed a round,
Right.
and I wasn't able to get the fastest lap because of few same issues race, but yeah, lucky me.
Man, it was, I mean, it was an uneventful race for you, but still, to finish first you have to finish. So my next question to you was, at any point, did it seem like uh, maybe you would fall asleep or anything during the race? Because once Kadeem fell off, you were basically no man's land, and you just built the gap 1 lap at a time by about a second per lap, finishing about 20 plus seconds at the end.
Yes.
Could you just give
Something like
us, yeah, could you give us, well, yeah,
Yeah. Um. Yes. I was my strategy that race, because I know how this races sometimes goes. You have to feel safe on one of the two. I tried to I put it too much. I was unable to have that 1 extra lap, so I could push flat out on the second one. So I had to beat on the first stint and then feel safe the whole second stint, and I crossed the line on like 0.5 liters, something like that. So I wasn't able to give me the luxury of
going for fast
pushing and going for the fast lap. Also, since it's like a kind of a short track, the GT3s were on my way the whole race. So yeah, that kept me a little bit awake, trying not to crash into someone. So yeah.
All right. Well, you dominated the sprint series. We do have a few. I mean, we got a few members, even from the Nova Racing team, that have reached out to me to say, hey, they will be back for the next series that we have on the way. It's I mean, we will have an off-season race, but we do have some quick and rapid drivers on the way. Any thoughts as we head into the next championship, which it is looking like it will be an endurance series?
Ooh. Okay, yeah, that's good because people love, especially in this game, people are always waiting for a endurance race. So I
Absolutely.
think that's gonna catch the attention of a lot of people and hopefully fast drivers, really fast drivers. I know of people that want to join. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the races that are coming.
Well, Omar, honestly, I have no more questions for you, man. You put on a dominant showing in the 3 rounds that you've been here. And then again, I'm 99% sure at the calculations, I could do a quick mock up right now. But right now, it does look like you are the championship winner of the series overall. Any final thoughts on the championship as it concludes?
Yeah, it was a really fun one. A shame that I missed 2 races that I really liked, but other than that, it was really fun. The conditions, the rain, the fuel saving, the GT3s, the the difficulty of the LMP2, it makes like a perfect combination of for a for a series like that, like this one. So it's a lot of fun, and also I love LMU. So yeah, I'm gonna be here for a long time. Well,
Well, again, brother, huge congratulations. And we just got the message from Race Control. Yes, sir, you are the victor by 1 point. So, again, a huge congratulations to you, Omar. You won with 76 points. P2 in Kadim Mohammed came in with 75 points. He did miss 2 rounds as well. So I just feel like that battle between you two, if both of you made each round. We did have a late comer in Mikhail Charles as well. We have a good friend of ours in Estefano Barrera
yeah.
who wants to join in as well. And boy, we have some really rapid drivers who are looking forward to the series. So I am looking forward. So looking forward to seeing you more. As you said, you love LMU. Maybe next time we'll see you in the hypercar, as a matter of fact. But we'll see what the mass
Yes.
chooses. But man, again, huge congratulations, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next series as we go on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and good night, good racing, good everything from y'all.
And thank you too. Without you, we wouldn't have a series. So we look forward to seeing you again, bro. And have a good night.
Thank you so much. Bye. Bye.
Absolutely. Bye. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Omar Escorcio, the winner of the LMP2 class and this evening's racing. What a battle this has been all season long. We've had battles all throughout the field, and it was just so fun to watch, to say the least. It's been an absolutely epic series, and we do want to remind you guys, please, if you want to stay tuned, if you want to join us on track, you can just follow us on Instagram, send us a direct message, and we'd love to have you involved. The links to our Discord is also available in the description, so please feel free to join us, and we would love to have you guys. And just more in the chat, just seeing your message, thank you for joining as well, man. We missed you in the first 3 rounds as well, so happy that we could get you in the last few moments. And we have quite a few more drivers on the way, so again, we missed out a few, but we got back a lot. And the battling has just been absolutely epic. See that lock up there as Mr. Escorcia caught up to the back end of Mr. Wilson there in the Mercedes-Benz. But that being said, I've been your host. It's been an absolute spectacle of racing all season long. I look forward to showcasing more of what is to come. And if you do want to get involved, if you want to support us, leave a like, leave a share, and leave a subscribe to our channel for more racing action. I've been your host, Mr. Steven Stewart. This has been absolutely epic. We do lead into round 5 tomorrow for the iRacing Championship by our sponsors in Sim Racers Room, broadcasted by the JSRA, as we head to the famous Laguna Seca in the United States of America. You have the time. The racing begins about 2 p.m. Qualifying begins at 2 p.m. tomorrow, Jamaica time. If you have the chance, please tune into the Sim Racers Room YouTube stream. I would love to have you. I've been your host, and it's been an absolute spectacle. I look forward to more battles. I've been your host, Stephen Stewart. Good night, good morning, or good evening, depending on where you are. It's been an absolute pleasure.